Why does he resonate today?
Well, I don't know that he does actually. He certainly does in our work in Bari. I've translated a few books by Morris, as I have by Sebiot, from English into Italian. I also did years ago. I wrote an essay tracing out, a line of thought, which goes from Peirce to Jacobson, Morris, and Sebiot, for example. I identify a connection that shows the continuity in thought through these different names, each of which obviously has his own singularity with respect to the tradition. But Morris was Sebiot's teacher. He held the first course in semiotics in America, and Sebiot had always prided himself in being one of his students, together with other prominent authors such as Birdswhistle, who you know him, okay. So Morris has authored foundational books, Theory di una teoria generale. This is ridiculous, I know it in Italian because I translated it in Italian. Theory of a general lineamenti di una teoria generale dei segni. His Theory of Semiotics. It's a tiny little book that was published in 1938, which Ferruccio Rossilandi translated into Italian, and I've produced editions, new editions of that translation. And then Morris is the author of Science, Language and Behaviour, which brings him into a different phase of his research. And then he's the author of books that are technical in the sense of semiotics, technical books in semiotics, and then he authors books that go in the direction of values and of the relationship between signs and values. He would be one of the, I would consider him as one of the sources of semioethics. Morris, together with Peirce, together with Victoria Welby and her significs, Levinas, Bakhtin, etc. Morris, for what concerns that pathway, values, signs and values, he authors a series of very interesting books. One is Signification and Significance, which I have translated into Italian. Another one is called Pathways, and to do with world religions. He did research in China, for example. Morris was a Zen philosopher. And then he wrote a book in 1948, which Sebiot sent to me on my request, and this book is titled The Open Self, which I translated into Italian, L'Io Aperto, and I added a subtitle, The Metamorphoses dell'Io, della soggettività, subjectivity. That is an interesting book, influenced by the psychological sciences of the time, but for what interests me, interesting because he looks at signs and values together. He insists, as does the Bakhtin school, various other schools in fact, insists that signs are not neutral, insists on the plurivocality, that's not his term, but on the plural nature of identity, showing how identity is fragmented, is made of different voices, as Bakhtin was saying, different faces. And in this book shows how, however, he too, with his language, like Bakhtin before him, insists that one identity is not compact.